Michigan, we're getting pretty good at like dodging potholes and playing around with stuff and, you know, looking out for stuff in general. The thing about that is you have issues that are going to come along your way. Now, the more road ahead that you can see, the better chance you can dodge that stuff. If you're riding somebody's back, you know, good chance you're not going to see that stuff unless they see it. You're relying 100% on them to watch those things in front of them. That can be a problem. Maybe, here's a big old one right there. Maybe instead of following that kind of deal, you either be the leader of the pack or you set back. Maybe if you set back a little bit, you can watch the ones in front of you. Learn from what they did. Learn from what they messed up. You don't have to be the first one to play around the game. You also don't want to be so far ahead of somebody that you're not going to not the right thing. You don't want to be so far ahead of somebody that you are following so close to somebody that you don't see the stuff that they might miss. See, you're weaving around this stuff. And it's one of those deals where you just got to play the game. That's what you're going to get. Sometimes you're able to see these things, problems or opportunities either way. You know? It's one of those deals. You just got to be looking out for this kind of stuff. And if you don't, then you might have some issues. Maybe you screw up a shock. Maybe you screw up a shock. Maybe you play around with you know, busting a flat tire and then you ruin the whole day because you weren't paying attention. So if you hear things coming down the pipeline, you know, that's a pothole. Might not even be a bad thing. Might be a good thing. You got to ask yourself, how can I take advantage of this? You know? How can I make this work for me? Kind of deal. Those potholes aren't always a bad thing. Sometimes they're a good thing. Sometimes those potholes fill full of stuff in the winter, you know? Kind of deal. But for the most part, they're usually bad things. Usually you got to watch out for them. But like I'm saying, it doesn't always mean it's a bad thing for you. You can have that guy that shoots around you that 30 over, 40 over, and they hit that pothole, and then you cruise right by right after. It's one of those deals where you just play the game, you'll be alright. So everybody's kind of hit up right now. They've fallen into the potholes. They weren't paying attention. They weren't looking out in front of them. They fall into potholes. You can't help that. All you can do sometimes is just try to avoid them yourself. You got these things, everybody's all hitting up about this and that and the other thing. It's getting bad. I don't know what to tell you. They've fallen into these potholes. A couple people this year, you know, they really messed up. They fell into a sand trap or something like that. They ain't gonna get no refund. They're gonna be all hurt up because they messed something up. And they don't even leave it at that. You know, got people, they maxed out things already. They ain't got no backups. They ain't got no spare tire. Hello. Yeah, I got you all looking at the top there. There we are. They ain't got no spare tire. They ain't got nothing, you know. That's what happens when you go down a bumpy road. Sometimes the camera screws out. And that's what it is. But it's okay okay to play around, you know? You just keep driving down the road. Can't help everybody. Hopefully they got a cell phone. Hopefully they got enough cash in the bank to cover a tow. You know? You just got to keep driving. Be nice to help, but how people are nowadays, if you help them, might hurt you. You pull somebody out of a ditch, mess up their front bumper in the process, who do you help? You know? They're probably going to freak out because you messed up their bumper. Kind of deal. Let the professionals do that. I don't pay for that tow truck. Tow truck messes it up, they're covered. You know? You mess it up, you might be in some trouble. Even though you had the best intentions, that's how it is. So just watch out for them potholes. They're going to come. If you're looking out ahead of you, you'll be ready for them. If you're not, you might be the one on the side of the road with flat tire. Be ready for that kind of stuff. It's going to come. You're going to get it. I don't care how prepared you are. Stuff happens left and right. I don't care what you're driving. I don't care what you got in the bank. Potholes happen. You know? All you can do is complain about them. Man, these roads suck. You know, I'm bouncing all over the place right here. You know? It's what it is. Doesn't mean it's not going to get better. Sometimes that road ends up being nice and smooth. You know? Sometimes you end up taking the right road and nobody's traveled down it yet. And then there's the other ones. You know? But that's what it is, you know? You just gotta watch out for them potholes. Anyway, let you guys go. Hopefully you got this. I know I'm being vague here, but it is what it is, you know? So, little thoughts. Take it what you want. Take it or leave it. Either way. All working out. Anyway, thanks you folks. See ya.